everybody, I'm Tom Vassell and welcome to 10,000 and Below, where I take a look at board games that are ranked 10,000 or less on the biggest database on board games on the internet, Board Game Geek. Sometimes I find some cool little games, sometimes we find some weird ones, great ones, and quite a bit of bad ones, but you never know, so let's take a look. We're starting here with 12,901 today. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this one. Wow. There you go. Blades of Legend. I played that one back in 2013. But okay, the first one. This is based on the book named this. This is a Czech book. That's why. There's a plushy bear lost in the old factory. Some pirates escape from the book. And you need to find these. I like the theme of this. It sounds cool. Ooh, I like the artwork too. I'm guessing the reason this one's ranked low is because it never came out in English. But it looks like great artwork. Looks like a fun kids game. Oh well. Blades of Legend. A secret game. Oh, I was like, I couldn't remember this one. This is from this library that Level 99 did. Before Level 99 was all over the place with very specific games, they made this mini-game library. The best game in this mini-game library was probably either Pixel Tactics or Noir. Those games were fantastic, and they've since been printed as separate games. None of the other games have, as far as I know, including this one here, which is Blades of Legend. It's weird, when I clicked on those pictures, it actually took me to the mini-game library. This was a secret role game, 6 to 11 players type thing. It was okay. Yeah, these different weapons and things went back and forth, but it sounded cooler than it did playing. It was fine. All right, Foretold, Rise of a God. This one's just called Kerosene, and the Normandy invasion of 1944. Well, let's take a look at these. Foretold, Rise of a God. I don't know that I ever reviewed Foretold. I didn't. Foretold would, if I don't have it anymore, but if I did have it, Foretold would have been one of those games that would have made like my 8 negative review piles. I really disliked my initial play of it. I didn't find it fun at all. Like going through a dungeon and getting cards to fight sounds interesting, but see how generic it looks? It felt generic. It was just a really boring game. I only did play it once, so keep that in mind. Kerosene, the first oil field in the world. Oh, this is an oil style game. I don't think there's only one picture of it. Now it looks like a straight up Euro game. Looks like a print and play too. I might have missed that. Maybe this is a print and play. If so, it is self-published. If so, 81 ratings for a self-published print and play game is pretty good. So, all right. Normandy, the invasion of Europe. This came out in 1971. A fairly involved game from Jim Dunnigan. Doesn't say a time on here. The weight is only 2.13. That's a pretty low weight, but then again, you're assuming that war gamers are ranking this. I don't know that I would consider the weight to be that simple, but maybe it is. I really doubt it. Just having a chart like that, to me, would make the game a little bit more complicated. All right, let's continue on here. Moving down, we have Dice Crawl. Tricky Safari. I just like one. Some of these times I look at these just based on their name. Quadrago. And then moving down to Way of the Dragon, which is a game I have played. All right, Dice Crawl first. Oh, this is from Jim Pinto, who does not like capitalizing his name. No joking aside. I knew Jim because I liked his World's Largest Dungeon book that he had made for AEG. This is a dungeon drafting game, and it just didn't work very well. It sounded cooler than it was. Roll dice, match the different symbols here, but there wasn't a lot of ways to manipulate the dice, and the graphic design, as you can see, is not that fantastic. Tricky Safari. This is from Quali. I wonder why I haven't played this one in particular. Is this an expansion? It's for 2 to 4 players, ages 7 to 100. And 20. This looks like a kid's version of his other game. Those are definitely little glass pieces there, for sure, because I've gotten his other game for Quali, and it comes with those. You got to be really careful that those don't get broken. It looks fun. Quadrago, this is from Mind Twister. This Looks like a 4 in a row game, but you can do it in different ways. Let me see if I'm wrong, but it's just, do you need to get 4 in a row? Yep, 4 in a row. And they can go up, down, but the middle 4 bars can rotate to switch positions. Well, now I'm more interested. I like that. Wonder why only the 4 middle ones. Just put some more wheels on the outside ones and make them all rotate. Yeah, all right, I'd play this. Way of the Dragon. I actually think I've talked about this one. This one must have fallen a little bit since the last one. This is from the company here, Nestor Games, and he does these on print on demand. Some nice pieces. You're just basically rolling and trying to get up, but again, you got to figure out what symbols match what things. I felt like that's problematic. It was an at best, unfortunately. Some of Nestor's games are really great. This is not one that I would have recommended as much. Wow, Redemption is way down on this list. Oh, poor Redemption. Well, Redemption is the Christian CCG from Cactus Games. This came out for kids whose parents don't play Magic. You could play Redemption. I'm just surprised this is so low. I don't think it's that bad of a game. I wonder if a lot of people downvote it because of the theme, right? Because it's biblically themed. And it wasn't a Magic copy. There was a lot of other things going on in it. There's 2-player versions of it came out. The graphic design is not good, that's for sure. But, meh. Well, it's neat to see that game, I guess. Neon Knights. This is from Bored to Death. This is one I was interested in. Is this one not out yet? So Bored to Death is a game reviewing video show, and they started their own board game company. Their first racing game was just not very good. This one, I think, looks a little better. I like the motif of the Neon Knights. That is still a little, graphic design's not great. I like the art more. This came out in 2018. Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about it. All right, moving down here. Mystic War. Guile, which I played in 2014. Blooming Gardens. And more Dude. All right, Mystic War. A lot of people have, this is from Tim Jim Games from 1992. You are trying to get to one of 4 different victory conditions using cards. Well, that's interesting. So you're one of these and you need to get to a certain thing, but you don't necessarily know what everyone else has. Looks like the components. I mean, Tim Jim Games were never known for their great components, but it was probably fun back in the day. Maybe it hasn't aged well, but I like the idea. I wonder if someone might reprint this at some point. Guile. This one I said was fine. It's a medieval memory game of deception. That's right, you're putting these cards around, trying to remember which cards are where. It was okay. Blooming Gardens. I like the name of this one. Ooh, that's pretty. The Ragnar Brothers from 2002. The Ragnar Brothers have made a lot of historical games. That's a pretty one. And that's a pretty shot there with the flowers in the background. But it's a card-playing system experience that delights of flower cultivation alongside the joy of outsmarting your fellow gardeners. I don't know what it is. I like that sentence. Maybe there's a little bit of take that to it. Wow, not a lot of people have talked about it. Fans also like Too Many Bones. What? All right, more Dude. Have you ever played Happy Salmon? That's what this is. And there's actually Dude. This is more Dude. Basically, you get cards that are surfer dudes. You have to be like, dude, and look for someone else saying the same thing, and then you give each other cards. So everyone's just saying dude in different ways. Robot dude, 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 pizza box dude, dude. I don't even know how you do a pizza box. The ghost, dude. So if you want to hear a bunch of people shout dude in multiple ways for 20 minutes straight, you'll love that game. I can see why it's ranked so low down. Yago Pool. Oh, I gotta look at that one. That sounds interesting. Triomino's Challenge, Central Market, and Kill Shakespeare. I shan't, sir. And then Animal Party. All right, there you go. 5 games. It's like a little mini pool game. I want this. I like mini games like that. Look at those people. They get to play this game. That sounds fun. It's probably expensive. Triomino's Challenge shows Triomino's version with the hourglass. When I was a kid, I thought Triomino's was like the coolest idea ever. I'm less enamored with it now, but this is a nice looking version of the game. Central Market. This is from Brain Games, who are best well known for Ice Cool. But they made a bunch of small games at the beginning. I thought this one was fine. You're lowering your bids instead of raising them, and you're going to sell things. Yeah, you're just trying to sell stuff as cheap as you can so that people buy from you instead of other people. I like the concept. It was a little too light for me, if I remember correctly. Kill Shakespeare. Did anyone on the Dice Tower ever review this one? No, Rado has taken a look at it. I remember being interested in the idea here. It's from it's semi-co-op, which is problematic, I think. I like the name. The art looks good. This one just never took off. Oh, I like that dial too. Yeah, maybe I would play this if I ran across somebody. Animal Party. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Roll 5 dice. Then you got to get the combinations to get an animal card. So it's Yahtzee, but there are animal cards out there that you're trying to roll. I love that art. That's super fun art. So it's like a kid's Yahtzee with animal. Great, I'd play that with my kids. Animal Party. Cool, cool. Alrighty, gunfights and gambling. Anybody's guess? Undead. Wiener Walzer. I gotta take a look at that because that's a funny name. Monkey Auto Races. Naruto CCG and Margin for Error. Man, I'm looking at a lot of games in this category. All right, here we go. Anybody's guess. Guess the identity if you have well-known person. Everyone predicts how many clues you'll make to get the guess. One critic, Leave It to Beaver with a bite. A Savage True Life of a 12-year-old TV sitcom. Well, the Wonder Years. I'd get it from the second one. So basically, you ask a certain number of clues in order. I've seen this before. This is not the only game to do this. But the other team is guessing how many clues you would need. All right. This game's just called Undead. It's from 1981 from Steve Jackson Games. So it's ranked pretty low, actually. I bet you had to cut the stuff out. Oh, who likes cutting things out? These old Steve Jackson games. But hey, this was talking about undead stuff. This looks like vampires, though not zombies. That is a cool looking map for sure. Wiener Walzer. Ah, it's from Knizia and Pietnik Games. Huh, I came here to make fun of the name and end up thinking the game looks not too shabby. Looks like there's no theme to it though. Well, it doesn't look bad. Monkey Auto Races. Now the thing about Monkey Auto Races is, I don't know, the game is just looks like a silly game. You're acting like a monkey, and I don't even know how the game works. But I remember Monkey Auto Races because Monkey Auto Races at one point was #1 ranked on Board Game Geek. It was an April Fool's joke, and it got a lot of people to do it. But you can see some of the comments are left in there. I've never played this game. This person rated it on 11. There's still some 10s on here. And so it shot up to the top of that ranking. That's why. You remember that. I wouldn't want to do that now, but back then it was pretty funny. Naruto CCG just came out in, I'm sorry, Naruto. My daughters aren't here to correct me. A CCG based on this for a while. This game has been released in Japan for a little while now. I didn't realize that the cartoon had been out in America that long. I'm sure my kids would love this. Graphic design seems okay. Lots of characters. Yeah, my kids would love that one, I'm sure. But I'm not going to get it. Margin for Error. This is a trick-taking game in which you have to win all or none of the cards for a particular suit, but they're trying to figure out how you can stop them. So basically, we're going to try to shoot the moon and someone else stops us. Fine game. I gave it a decent ranking, but I hate how this game looks. It's so boring looking. The game itself is fine. So we got Stratego Star Wars Saga Edition Pythora. All right, let's drop down here. Arumentic. Rubbish Auction. Temple Run Danger Chase. All right, so let's take a look at these. First we have Stratego Star Wars Edition. It's very similar to Star Wars Stratego. This one has characters from episode 3, 2. And if you play Star Wars Stratego, it's actually better than Stratego because there's special abilities. You just have to look them up, but it's not too bad because they're printed, as you can see, on the side of the board. If you see this and you like Stratego at all, it's probably worth picking up. Oh, not Pythora. Man, it's plethora. I can't believe that. All righty. I don't know what happened there. I looked at the small L and thought it was an I. That was idiotic of me. Looks like a Richard Brees game, actually. Huh. This doesn't look bad at all. It came out in 2012. Huh. Well, that's a weird thing. This is from Shem Phillips from Garfield Games. Everyone knows him now. Architects of the West Kingdom and Raiders of the North Sea. I didn't realize he had games that have been out since 2012. I wonder if this game's any good. I wonder if he's remade it, like if one of his other games came out like this. Interesting. Well, that's a cool find. I'm glad we ran across that. All right. Aromantic. The flooding was massive. Then shoots of plants come out, and you got to put stuff in productive fields. Well, this one looks interesting. Oh, I played this one. Why am I? Did I rank this game? Yeah, I gave it a 6. Yeah, it's like I remember playing this one. It's a very thinky game actually, and you're placing stuff on the boards as they come up and grow out and everything. It's maybe a little too thinky for me, but it certainly is pretty, and there's a lot of, it just looks good. A weird name though. Temple Run Danger Chase. I like this one. So every once in a while on my iPad or iPhone, I'm like, I'll play Temple Run. Temple Run 2, I guess. Temple Run, I remember when it first came out, I played it a lot. Nowadays, I'm not. This one is you're running through this thing, trying to get out as fast as you possibly can. It's called Danger Chase. This thing keeps chasing you, and it's going to catch you at some point. It's silliness, but it works well, and they actually caught the theme. It's a mass market game, and I was surprised at how well it worked. Alrighty. Munchausen. I can't pronounce that one. Mission to Mars 2049. And Downtown. All right, this is, I'm assuming, based on Baron. Yeah, the Baron Munchausen. This is a bluffing game. And you're going to state the value, and then the Baron will take the highest card. Interesting. I like bluffing games. It's from Bacchus Spiel. I'd play that. Like I said, this is French for where are you? 2 players are suspected to commit a crime. The only way to get free is to create a good alibi. Suspects are isolated. They have 3 minutes to guess what questions the other players will ask them and invent and memorize answers to these questions. But they have to give the same answers. If they give the same answers, I would like to play this. It's just an entertaining thing. That sounds fun. Mission to Mars 2049. Did anyone on the Dice Tower review this one? I remember seeing this game. It doesn't look that exciting. There's so many Mars games out there, and this one just doesn't look very interesting. I'm sure it might be a fantastic game, although we'll see that it's really low ranked on this thing here. Black and white games. Well, maybe it's good, but I don't know if I'll ever play it. Downtown, your gangster bosses recruiting gangsters, and you have to launder $100,000. I reviewed this 6 years ago. There's no pictures for me to even look at and remember it. I just remember thinking it was okay. Yeah, okay. Well, that's the only picture we got. You have to watch my review if you want to learn more about Downtown. Allegiance, War of Factions. Ha! This is lower ranked than I thought it would be. This came out 2004. 2014, here is when I ranked it. I didn't play it in 2014. I probably played it earlier than that. Kalua. Arr! Expedition Dino. We'll take a look at that one. Suraku. Cats. A sad but necessary cycle of violent predatory behavior. That's a long name. We need to check that one out. Wizards Towers, 4 Taverns. All right. All right. Allegiance, War of Factions. Allegiance, War. I remember this game. Okay, I remember seeing this. This was at a convention. I thought it was okay. This was I don't know if it's either a collectible card game or it's a game based on a collectible card game, and you needed to get certain numbers or different costs on the sides. It's really, really not good graphic design, unfortunately. And if I remember correctly, it's not. It's a CCG. How hard is it to do a CCG? But wow, this is like stuck in my head. I can go back to the spot where I was when they were showing me this game at a convention. And I was certainly interested in it, but collectible card games now, you'd have to really work hard to get me to jump into one. Kahlua, this one I did not care for very much. This is from Passport Game Studios. You're trying to be one of the... Oh, yeah, there was just... This had that Take That stuff in it with the different gods. Yeah, I didn't really like that one. Expedition Dino. This is from Haba, so I'm assuming it's good. Ooh. I like that concept. A hammer and blocks to knock off it with a dino inside? Yeah, you better believe I want to be involved in that one. That looks like a fun game for kids. This game's from 1985. It's an exciting game of desert combat for 2 players. Huh. It definitely has that old look to it, but Patton vs. Rommel, but it's like plastic figures instead of... Huh. Wow. Yeah, I wonder why it's ranked so low. Maybe it's just nostalgia. Let's take a look at some of the comments. This guy sold this for $7. It's like Stratego, maybe. It's between Stratego and Blitzkrieg and Memoir 44. Proto Memoir 44. Just not in the war games. Okay. All right. Well, maybe I'd play it. All right, Cats. A sad but necessary cycle of violent predatory behavior. It's a light programming game. Catch, stalk, play, steal, taunt, or eat with cats. Is it meant to teach something? Well, it looks silly, though. What a weird combo. Probably the name itself gets people from playing it. Four Taverns. This is from Rather Dashing Game. I know that some people really like this game and other people's are not. We have Ryan Metzler reviewed it for the Dice Tower back in the day. I don't believe I ever did play this one. Slay the Dragon, Goblins. Yeah, this was when they were first getting started. Rather Dashing Games. I think their games have vastly improved since then. Actually, they've been since bought by Catalyst Games. But yeah, this one didn't really attract me. Maybe it is a good game, but it didn't really draw me in. Alrighty, let's see. Livestock Uprising. Oh, nosers. Nobody's Perfect Mini Edition. Grunwald 1410. Socken Zocken. Loka, a game of elemental strategy. I did not like that one. This one's called Baby Cruise. Alrighty. Well, that's a bunch of games to look at. Here we go. Livestock Uprising. Look at that cover. It's not a good cover. Oh, this is from Dogmite. Oh, they're the people who make all those, the wooden, my giant wooden hammer. Oh. Yeah, I don't know if I like this art, but that's funny. I don't know anything about this game. But that's a funny cover. I see they have it on a Dogmite table. Convenient. Nobody's Perfect Mini Edition. Great. What's this about? It's like Balderdash. Oh, okay. I just think the name's funny. Grunwald 1410 from 1992. This is the Teutonic Knights and the combined force of Poland, Lithuania, and Belarus. Wow, that's a lot of... Wow. Like, those forces are lined up for battle. That's going to be... There's going to be a lot of casualties taking place over that one. That's neat to see all that stuff next to each other. Okay. Socken Zocken, I didn't really like this game from Haba. This is about matching socks, but that's basically it. You're just finding socks that are exactly the same. Maybe kids would probably like it. My kids thought it was okay. Oh, I remember why I didn't like Loka. Loka is chess with dice. What? Like you land on someone and then roll 10-sided dice and stuff like that to fight them. It has some really nice miniatures. You can see they're painted very well in these pictures, right? They don't come painted, for sure. They come in different colors. But, yeah, this game was one of the first games I got from Mantic, and I remember thinking, this Mantic company is not making very good games. They've since made better ones. They make great miniatures, but whew, I did not like this at all. Baby Cruise. While your spouse is visiting Sunday, you promise to take care of the kids. In the casino with a cocktail in your hand. All right. I do like those little baby bottles. All righty, moving down here. We got Papering Duel, which I gave a 2 to. Tic-Tac Chess, and then finally Fantasy Forest. So let's take a look at Papering Duel. Oh man, I really want to like this one. This one had these tiles that you placed in this box trying to match things. This was so obtuse and so, I don't know. It sounded really cool. I played it over and over and over trying to find a way that it worked, and it didn't work for me at all, this two-player game. I took it to Z and I said to Z, what am I missing? And he played it and he's like, yeah, not missing anything. Tic-Tac Chess. You have a knight, a rook, a bishop, and a pawn. Get all your pieces. You start with a 4x4, place them in open squares. Once you place them, you can move a piece, capture a piece, or place your remaining piece. Once you get a piece back, you can play it again. Sounds solvable, right? But I would play it. I like the idea. Fantasy Forest, this one here. It's from the makers of the Dungeons and Dragons game. Oh yeah, art from Larry Elmore for kids. And Mike Gray. It looks like a roll and move, unfortunately. Huh. Well, that's kind of an interesting game to end on. Michael Gray is like one of the most important people in the board game industry that you may not have heard of. He's like the grandfather of gaming. He has done so many games. Fortress America is probably one of the ones he's most well known for, Dungeon and stuff, and he worked in the mass market. Whenever I run into him at a convention, I like to sit and talk to him because he just knows so much about gaming. Look at this trio. We got Mike Gray, Richard Borg from Memoir 44, and Scott Alden from Board Game Geek. Mike Gray is a treasure to the hobby, and I'm glad he has done so much. So I'm cool. It's cool that he made this little game called Fantasy Forest. All right, well, I need to get this particular episode finished here. So once again, everyone, thanks so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell, and you've been watching 10,000 and Below on the Dice Tower.